Welcome to Brave New Bookshelf, a podcast that explores the fascinating intersection of AI and authorship. Join hosts Steph Pajonas and Danica Favorite as they dive into thought-provoking discussions, debunk myths, and highlight the transformative role of AI in the publishing industry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Brave New Bookshelf. I'm one of your co-hosts, Steph Pajonas, CTO of Future Fiction Academy, Future Fiction Press, where we teach authors how to use AI in any part of their process, and we are publishing AI-forward books on the press. So there's been a lot going on in the writing and author world lately, which we will probably talk about in another episode. I won't go into that too much, except to say that things are cooking out there. There is plenty of anti-AI sentiment that's happening, and there's plenty of cool things that are happening as well in the AI world. I watched the Super Bowl like a lot of people and saw a ton of AI ads there. I was impressed by how many there were. In fact, I wrote many of them down. I was like, what is that one? I don't know that one. So I enjoyed that. But there's always something going on in the AI world, and we'll be talking about it here on the podcast as usual. I'm here with my lovely podcast co-host, Danica Favorite. Danica, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah, I am also kind of in that weird AI space. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Danica Favorite. I'm the community manager at Publish Drive, where we help authors on every stage of their journey, from getting their manuscript formatted to using some cool AI tools to find book descriptions, some AI book covers, and then distributing your books to the widest audience possible. And finally, if you are working on projects with co-authors and things like that, we can help you split your royalties. And a couple of things I want to say about what we're doing at Publish Drive, because it's not always the sexy stuff that we can say, ooh, we're launching this. But I did just get out of a big team meeting today where, for those of you who use our AI tools, we are updating some things on the back end and with the AI service providers to some of the later models, newest models. So look for some changes there and some updates there. Again, nothing sexy that anyone's going to notice or be like, ooh, this is such a cool new feature. It's not, just updates, but always like to mention that. And also just wanted to say, simply because a lot of people I've been talking to lately seem to not know this, we do ebook, audiobook, and print on demand. And so I'm amazed at how many times people will say, I didn't know you did that format. Yep, we do it. Just little updates there. And nothing super cool, super big, but between us and the FFA, we have a lot of really great tools for authors at every stage of the journey. Like, they're doing some really incredible things at the FFA to help teach authors how to use some of the tools. And one of those FFA instructors we have today is Kimberly Gordon. Kim is someone who's doing some very cool things with ink and code as part of the FFA. Love what they're doing. I was telling Steph, I really want to get more of the FFA instructors on the show, because they really are doing some great things for their members and for helping people. And I love what Kim is doing, Kim's style of teaching and helping authors get motivated. I know Kim's got this nervous look on her face, and please don't be nervous, because I'm really enjoying a lot of the stuff that Kim is talking about. And I was really excited when Steph says, yeah, we can get Kim on. I'm like, yes. Usually I schedule the guests, and Steph was nice enough to make the connection for me to get her on today. So without further ado, we will have Kim introduce herself to you. And Kim, tell us about yourself. Tell us about what you do, what you're teaching, how you use AI, all of that cool stuff, anything relevant. Oh, and as we were doing the chit chat before we started recording, I know you said some of your background. So please also share your background with AI, computers, all that good stuff.
Okay, so all the stuffy stuff, which I'm known for. Yeah, hi, I'm Kimberly Gordon, and I am the director of the Ink and Code Society at the Future Fiction Academy. And that's just a recent position. Before that, I was a member for a couple of years, and I love AI. I love technology. I come from a tech background, but I also come from a family of writers. So I have been writing all my life, but I've also been playing with computers all my life. So the idea of being able to talk to a computer about writing is really exciting to me. That is like heaven. So when the AI started coming out, and it was like, oh my gosh, you can ask it about story ideas and outlining, and you can actually make it like draft things. That blew my mind. I saw some of the really early videos with Elizabeth Ann West and Pseudo Write back when she was with them. And then, of course, I found Future Fiction Academy. But I've been playing with words and computers as long as I can remember. I was telling them before the show, my dad was a big techie, and he had huge computers in the basement with 12-inch floppies. And he'd hire me to clean his like 100-pound printer that my mom was always worried was going to fall over on me. I had small hands, so I could get in there and clean it. And he'd refurbish them and sell them. So for as long as I can remember, been around computers, and I was playing with BASIC and making mandalas out of a book. I was never good at coding from scratch, but if I could take somebody else's code and do something with. So I played with that. I grew up around them. I had my first computer was a PC Junior that ran off of floppies. And as I got older, I got into broadcasting. I wanted to write. I wanted to do something with technology, but I wasn't sure I didn't really want to be a software engineer like my dad. But my mom was writing books. She won the Golden Heart Award for her first romance novel right after I graduated high school. So I remember her writing that book, and she was in trad publishing. And I
Okay,
saw all
that's
that.
awesome. I didn't
Yeah.
know
The
that.
Golden Heart, really? Isn't that
Yeah.
the Romance Writers of America?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
For her first book. My mom is
Wow.
Kimberly Gordon, who also writes as Kathleen Kirkwood. And she's got
Oh
6.
my gosh, I know who your mom is.
This is
Amazing.
amazing.
That's my mama, and I love her. And she helps me edit my books. Talk about fabulous, fabulous feedback on everything. And sometimes really difficult feedback. But she's amazing. So I was like, well, I kind of want to do that. But then I saw how crazy TradPub was. I was like, maybe not. So I I was going to go into print journalism. I got talked into broadcasting. I joined the military with 2 of my best friends, and we, at 18 or 17 actually, I went in after graduation and we went to basic, advanced training, and Korea together. We were there. We replaced the military broadcasters who had covered the 1988 the Seoul Olympics. But yeah, I'm old.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, I was over there doing broadcasting, and the Army issued me a husband and a baby, and I got out and I taught English. So I have done a lot of different weird things, but it was great writing fodder. So I get back to the States and I'm still doing things. I deliver the mail, I do all kinds of fun things, like raise my kids. And that didn't work out. And I had to decide because the marriage didn't work out. I'm like, oh, I need to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. I was only like 37 then. Oh, what grow up? So I got into IT and I did that for many years, but I still wanted to write. I had started writing, I wanted to follow my mom's footsteps. Indie publishing was coming in, and I was like, I really want to do this. And so I went to a couple RWA conferences with my mom in my 30s, started my first book, which was a small town romance, and had a Job character, based like a Job inspired character who loses everything. And then I proceeded to lose everything. And it was a be careful what you write. And so that book sat untouched for 10 years as my whole life changed and I went into IT. I picked it up in 2015. I joined the self-publishing school and met my buddies. I have a couple friends that are publishing today that I met there that are in the FFA now. And I started publishing in 2016. And I've got 14, 15 books out now in all different genres. I'm an urban fantasy author with epic fantasy in it, portal fantasy. I'm writing cozy fantasy. I did the small town romance. I've done a whole bunch of other genres. I just love stories. I love them. And so playing with the AI has been so much fun. When I figured out that I could start farming out some of the repetitive stuff to the AI, and that would free my brain up to be really, really creative and put all these crazy experiences down on paper, I started having so much fun with that. So
I love that. I love that. And that really leads us great into that first question that we try to ask people is, how are you approaching AI in publishing? Because here's the thing, and I am going to get on the soapbox a little bit, is like I've seen some pretty mean anti-A comments lately about writers who can't write using AI, and or like people who can't write. Sorry, you're not real writers. Like, you're a freaking real writer. And you have this amazing history of writing and being an author. And so this to me is holy crap. Yes, this is somebody who is a real author. And I always saw you as a real author. I didn't know anything about your background. And I'm like, seriously, just going, oh my gosh, your mom is one of my writing heroes kind of thing. And I think that it would be really amazing to hear, like, how you've taken AI as someone who has all of this writing experience and history and knowledge and said, yeah, I'm going to use AI and figure out what that approach is. So that would be really great to hear about.
I love to experiment. I have very high maximizer in my Clifton strengths and strategic. I'm a #1 strategic. So I'm always like, oh, which way could I go? My mind's like a GPS. Like, which way could I go? How could I do that? How could I solve that? So I am always experimenting. I don't think since I found AI that I have written any book, like I'll write one book on 1 or 2 tools, maybe 3 at the same time, doing things. And then the next book will be on totally different tools because they change so fast. And so I don't think I've written 2 books on the same tool since I started using it. But I started just playing with it. I'm like, oh my gosh, the potential. My friend Nadine Travers, who is my accountability buddy from forever, was like, you've got to look at this. You cannot believe what you can do just in the planning and the outlining phases and the brainstorming. And we're like, okay, let's look at that. We weren't even thinking about writing with it or editing with it, which you can do. We were looking at marketing, we were looking at the planning stuff. And so that was really cool. And I said, well, let's just try writing something. What does it do? And so I wrote my first book in ChatGPT like 3.5 in the chat window. And I just spent like a whole day. For some reason, the stars aligned and nobody bothered me that day. I'm like, mom. I have 5 kids. I have 5 boys. So three are grown, 2 are with me. But nobody bugged me. And I played with that thing and I had a 40,000 word demon hunter story that was funny, but it was like full of AI-isms. It was awful. I look at that, I'm like, oh my gosh. But I did it. I was like, I just wanted to see, could I just take prompts and build a story? And yeah, you could. And then like I started getting into FFA stuff. It's like, hey, we got Rexy over here and you can sequence prompts. I'm like, oh cool. I don't have to cut and paste forever and type it all in. I'm like, I can actually do it once and then have it redo things. So I played with that and I ran a ton of books and I loved that. I used that to help me write my next Black Cat book. I had to do a lot of editing. That was not a clean draft at all because I was learning. I was experimenting. And so I kept trying different tools and over the course of time, I think I've now got 3 or 4 really big books out that are completely AI. They're AI generated. I do a lot of heavy editing. That is my process. I am a maximizer. I do not put anything out there that's raw out of the AI. There is no way. Because I'm a perfectionist. And yes, I know done is better than perfect, but I do so many editing passes. But now, what's out now with the IDEs, the coding apps make those editing passes much faster. So I was able to do a deep dive with Claude one day because I'm like, it's still taking me forever to get a really good quality book out. And I've been using AI for 3 years now. I'm like, can we figure out ways to leverage it that fit my personality, my workflow, and my strengths, my Clifton strengths? I gave it everything. I just deep dived with my buddy Claude. And we came up with a novel writing workflow that works in Antigravity. This Antigravity is a coding app. This is the stuff I'm teaching because I believe story is code. And the coding apps can follow complicated instructions. And so novels also need a lot of complicated instructions. There's a lot of different layers to them. So story is kind of a code. We have symbols, we have metaphors, we have themes. It's language, and the coding apps still speak the same language. They're the same LLMs we use to write novels or to draft them or brainstorm them or whatever you want to say. So I thought, why not marry those two? And so I took this novel writing workflow, customized it to how I work, and I got something I really could live with. And so in November, when I was testing Claude Code, Antigravity, and I was also into Claude Skills was a really great one. I love Claude Skills for editing. because you can take instructions and reuse them. And I like talking in the chat. I like talking about the stuff and going, hey, this isn't right. Let's fix the too many passive verbs. Let's do an editing pass and fix all the passive verbs. Instead of taking a chart and going, oh, look, 200 ways to replace the word said, the AI already knows those, or I can feed it the chart and it can choose, how about this word? How about that one? And it takes so much less time. Or designing a fantasy language, I do that. And that takes a lot less time. So I've been learning how to leverage these with my own workflows and developing those. So in November, I wrote 26 books in all of these. I tried, YFD was part of that too. I built worksheets with the coding apps and then sent them through your first draft. I did Claude Code, I did Claude Skills, I did Antigravity. So 26 books in 12 days, and that included Thanksgiving because I was just crazy on this tear of trying it all. And then in December, I started teaching it immediately. I'm like, oh my gosh, people need to know about this, especially because Antigravity was free. And they were giving us free Claude Code credits for a while. So it's like, it's free. Go use it. Try it. It won't hurt. You can always just throw it away if you don't like it. It's just cost your time. So in December, I was teaching it and I wrote, I think like 14 more books. I have like 40 by the end of the year. And now I'm trying to get those out into the world as proof of work. So I'm trying to solve the bottleneck. What happens after you've drafted a great book, but it's not ready for publication yet? How do you get it there without it taking forever? And so I'm
I
using a lot of
love this. And I love so many pieces of this. Like it, first of all, the fact that you went and you took all of like your personality and your strengths and everything to come up with this is what my ideal writing process stuff is. I think that's amazing because I've done something similar, but seriously, until this very moment, I was like, huh, I should ask it, okay, you know all the stuff about my personality and what I need. Why not tell me what my best writing process is? Like, I'm like, wow, that's a duh moment. And I love that you did that. And it's so interesting to me, all these people who keep saying, oh, AI is just generic, blah, blah, blah. No, like it is so deeply personalized to you and your systems and how you do it. And it's interesting because we just had Dana Sacco on as a guest, and she does a lot of stuff with N8N for her books. And it's really funny because people ask her all the time, well, I just want your prompts. And she's like, my prompts aren't going to help you because they're so personal to me. And like here you are talking about how personal you've made it. And even though you do teach it, there is just this level of personalization of what does a Kimberly Gordon book sound like? And what is a Kimberly Gordon preference? And that's just so cool how you've come up with all of these different things.
As you're using the AI, it's getting to know you and it will work with you. AI so wants to help you. If you just talk to it, even if you don't know how to talk to it, say, how do I talk to it? Interview it and get to know it. It gets to know you and it's kind of trained on you. It takes, especially Claude and OpenAI, ChatGTP, they remember you. And now Google has also unleashed that with the personal intelligence. It's taking what it knows, and that can be kind of freaky. I mean, be careful what you give it access to. And former cybersecurity person here is saying, be careful. But it does get to know your personality and your preferences. It learns, and then it can give you so much richer results. And especially if you've already tailored a workflow that works for you, and then you can encode those in skills. And this was something I discovered before the IDEs really got good, the coding apps, was the Claude Skills came out in October. And I was trying to solve editing issues with books for the Future Fiction Press because I was helping as an editor. And I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get this to sound, the voice to sound right? Because these had been running your first draft, and sometimes they didn't sound like each other. I was like, okay, we need to get the voices sounding unified. And then we had passive verbs and things happening that just weren't ready for publication. We were going to get them ready. And I was like, how do I do that without combing through every single thing and taking forever? And I found that what I could do, and this is I'm working on an editing with Claude Skills class right now. I taught an intro, is that you can go into Claude or any of, but especially Claude, you can edit with him, talking with him, talking through the problems chapter by chapter for about maybe 5 or 10 chapters. That's what I usually do, to identify the problems in that particular book. Especially, it's going to be different with whatever AI you use to generate it. You identify the patterns. Then you tell it, hey, Claude, I want you to make a skill. I want you to identify all the problems we've talked about in this thread and encode that in a skill. And then we're going to run that over the rest of the book. And what I found was it's almost like a reverse fine tune. You are fine tuning a skill. You go through, your data is the threads. It's the conversations you've already had. So if you've already been editing or writing with these AIs, you can tell it, I want you to make a skill out of that. Maybe you use it for newsletters. Maybe you use it for brainstorm or outlines. You can go, look at these threads we talked about and I want you to identify the patterns and make it a skill, template it. And so then what you do, like for me, when I was doing the FFP books, I said, okay, now we've done book 1. Let's update the skill again with the rest of that thread. Now we have version 2, we do book 2. Partially through that, we can update it again if we want, but we are literally fine tuning it. So by the time we get to the last book in that series, we have a highly tuned skill that works. It's very customized, and you can really get granular on what your voice is. And then say you want to do another series in that pen name, or maybe it's some totally different one. Take everything, Claude, that I found, all the great basics, good basic writing things we're doing, and go make a new skill for this author, my other pen name, like I did this with Lit RPG. Okay, we know the basics. We know we don't want not X but Y patterns that AI loves. We don't want passive verbs. We don't want the attack of the was or the ozones. It smells like ozone, all the AI-isms. So we can go take those out of, we can farm the skill or the threads and make new skills and agents out of them too for IDEs. So it is just, the possibilities are endless.
They really are. They really are. And I've taught people that if you don't want to use Claude Skills or you just want to use a chat, what you can do is when you've made progress in the conversation and you have a lot to show for it and you've gotten to a good point, that's a great time to say, hey, Claude or Gemini or whatever, give me a brief about what we've talked about in this conversation. Sum up all the different skills that we've talked about, the different edits that we're interested in, just anything that you've been working on. Tell it to sum it up into a brief, and then you take that brief with you, just save it on your computer someplace as a plain text document, and then the next time you start up a conversation, you start it up with the brief. You say, here's a brief about what we're working on. This is like editorial guidelines for this book because you got it from the previous conversation. It's always good to tell it to sum up, tell it to understand what you've been working on, and then to write it all down and then take it with you. So Claude Skills is great that way because it's very, it's much more automatic. You can just say, create a Claude skill about this, and then it goes off and it does it. But if you're not using Claude or you're using something else, there are hacks to do these sorts of things by doing that.
You can turn them into a GPT, or you could turn them into Gemini Gem, or just like you said, a brief notes, whatever you want. It is so flexible. And anytime you're having a conversation with one of these things, that is data. It is data. Or say you see a YouTube, like all of the stuff we teach on YouTube for free. You can take the transcript and you could go to Claude or to any of them and go, hey, or Perplexity is great for this. I want you to do a deep dive. I want you to give me the main points of this, and then I want to learn more about it. Give me a lesson plan. Help me find more information about it. It is just, there is no excuse anymore for any part of your workflow to be saggy. You have a problem, if you have a pain point, you can automate it, or you can learn how to overcome it with AI, with all the technology. It's not just AI. There's just so much great technology out here right now. But and then you have transcription, you have text to speech. I had a couple of weeks ago on the Ink and Code Society YouTube live that I do every Saturday. I had Tiffany Conan, who she has got what you call a progressive disorder with her hearing and her sight. She is losing her hearing and sight, and she is using all kinds of technology to be able to publish a book at least once a month, sometimes every 18 days. And that's amazing, the things that she's overcoming with the tech. So there is no excuse anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of good assistive technologies out there that have gotten even better now that AI is present in them and able to help. And I'm really, really grateful for that because there are definitely a lot of people out there who could use all that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have two sons in the autism spectrum. One is grown, one is being homeschooled, and we use AI every day. We create custom copy work and stories and things. I want to get him excited. I want to help him visualize and help him with his words and learning all these socialization type of things that are challenging for kids that are in the spectrum. So we use it a lot. So it's not just for writing, it's every part of your business, but so many parts of your life too that you can use to save time and do neat things. So I love it.
Yeah, I really love all of these different things. I think this is something that Steph and I go back to a lot, and we've talked about since the very beginning of starting this, is that this is really an assistive technology. And to be against AI is truly to be ableist. And I am finding, you're talking about autism, and as someone who is later in life discovering, oh, I'm probably ADHD, I'm probably autistic. And like now I'll be like, oh, wait, I do that. And that's an autism thing. And people are like, yeah, you hadn't figured that out yet. And I'm like, no, how did you not? And it was like, how do you not know this? I'm like, I don't know. I just developed all these coping mechanisms. And as Steph and I have talked about, being in that great phase of perimenopause, and your
Oh,
brain just
that's the
kind of,
joy.
oh yeah, yeah. See, you're there too. And
Oh, I'm beyond it.
yeah, like, but our brains are just kind of broken, and AI is there to pick up the slack. And it's so interesting that you say that, because even now I'm like, oh wait, this is something that I've picked up as a crutch to help me with my ADHD and autism. And I can't do that anymore. How do I do it? And I can pop that into AI and say, hey, what do you recommend? And it gives really good ideas. And it's just amazing to me how blessed we are to have this technology. And I know you've already been telling us some great workflows that you have and that you've done to assist you, but are there any other AI workflows that you think are really helpful or have been helpful? And also, just before I forget, Steph, I'm putting this in kind of as a reminder, but also to let readers know, in the show notes, there will be links to the YouTube videos for Ink and Code and all of that. And so the videos that we're talking about will be in the show notes, because some of them I haven't gotten to, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
Absolutely. And I'll make sure they're all there.
There's just so many great ones. I have my ones that are my favorites are the ones I teach. I love Obsidian because it's so great for organizing and it's free and it is where you link your thinking. And I love it as a planning, a staging area, and as a wrap it up. Like I begin and I end a lot of my books there. I used to use Evernote. I've used OneNote. I've used like every note-taking plan thing you can think of. I've tried it because I am ADD. I do not have the hyper, though some people think I am. I just get very excited. But I love going down rabbit holes and I need to think all the things and link all the things. So I love Obsidian, so I teach that. It speaks in Markdown, and that is the language of AIs. So it's very easy to look at anything that comes out of an AI in Obsidian. And then Claude Desktop will write directly to your folders. Obsidian works with your local folders. I am a big local folder person because I worked in IT, in cybersecurity, and also because I lived out in the middle of nowhere with a satellite internet connection that sucked until Starlink came along. I like everything on my computer. I am a dragon hoarder. I want it all on my computer. I do not want everything in the cloud. I like syncing it to the cloud because I need backup and recovery, and I got to back up my data a million ways. But I want it on my computer. So I do Obsidian. I do Claude Desktop because it has Claude Code and Claude Chat in it, and you can work with the skills all in your local files. Antigravity, same thing. It'll do the desktop. And then Notion. I love Notion. It's in the cloud, but it's great for sharing. And it will also, you can talk back and forth between the AIs. I love Chatty. I love Gemini. I have all of them. I use all of them. I know that's crazy. I use Notebook LM. I will use all the things, but my favorites right now, definitely Claude Skills, Obsidian, and Antigravity. because it's just so fast. I want to go fast. My brain is fast. I don't like going slow anymore. So while I love Raptorite and I have tried Plot Drive, I've tried Novel Crafter, I've tried Rexy, I've written books in all of them, I can't go backward anymore because I'm flying. I was testing some stuff for Harper's Romance Intensive that's coming up next month. She said, "Can you test this stuff in Antigravity for me?" This is Sunday. What is it? Tuesday today, right? So 2 days ago. And she's like, "I just need you to see, does this work? Did any of my files get in there when I created it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll put it in a fresh one and we'll try it." And she's like, "Can you make an outline? You just come up with something." I'm like, "Oh, I have story ideas. No problem." Because I made a story trend scout thing that you could put like Kindle Trends reports and it would come up with lots of on market ideas. So I was like, I got a ton. I've been running this stuff forever. So I drop in a Highlander romance thing I wanted to do. I'm like, yeah, why not do that one? And about an hour later, I had a full YFD worksheet. And an hour after that, I had maybe another one. And 6 hours later, I had 6 books. And I ran the first one in YFD.
That's just amazing. And here's the thing is, like I think people get, oh, how can you possibly write these books this fast? And how can they be good books? But all of this is the culmination of lifelong skills and skills as an author and knowing how to write and giving your brain to the computer.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's all the experience that we have collected. I mean, all these insane things I've done all my life. I have done theater. I have done music ministry. I have written songs all my life. I've done all these crazy things. I'm like, I don't even know why I do them. I just have to go do them. It's because I needed fodder for writing, and then I have crazy relatives. So I got to write about them too. So it's like all of it comes through the writing. And as I was doing the Highlander thing, that was inspired by a DAZ 3D render. Harper and I know each other from the DAZ 3D community. We're both 3D artists. And I had renders that would inspire story ideas and vice versa. So this thing's been kicking around in my subconscious for 10 or 15, no, 10 years. So it's like, it just came out. And it's, oh, and the AI goes, "Well, you could do this and this and this." I'm like, "Why, sure, let's add this and this and this." Suddenly we've got 6 books of Highlanders because it's helping you connect the dots that are already there. That's the thing. It is totally assistive. It's not writing for you, it's writing with you, and it's really helping you organize your thinking. I have burned out, especially in IT. I have burned out of several jobs because I worked so hard. I love what I do. I'm a hard worker, but I would go massively into burned out because of the stress in that. That's why I left IT. I don't want to burn out in writing, but I was seeing when I was doing everything myself that I was starting to go that way. I was perfectionistic. I was doing, especially my Black Cat series, I would do hundreds of editing passes. It's like, I just need to, I love Steph's thing. F it, it's fine, just get it out there. I had to tell myself that a few times. Now I can do multiple passes that are reasonable with AI, and what used to take me months takes me days. I had a lit RPG book it's on pre-order for the end of the month. I went to check it to human proof it, and it wasn't as good as I thought. It was a big hot mess. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to have this up in like 2 weeks. It took me one day to fix it. It's now as good as I thought it was, and now I'm going to sweep through it again and get it ready to go. It's that fast. It's
this
crazy.
is really amazing. And I want to go back to one of the things you said, because this is definitely a big quote that I think that everyone needs to keep in their mind when they're thinking about AI, and particularly when people are saying, oh, AI is cheating or not. It's connecting the dots that are already there. Like when you said that, I was like, boom, we need this in neon letters above everything about AI right now, because it is. That's truly what it's doing. It's taking those things that are already there. It's taking your talent, your skills, your ideas, your creativity, and it's just connecting those dots. I think that's just absolutely beautiful and amazing.
That's
Well, thank you.
super intuitive. Because you know what? Sometimes it's like I look at AI and I wonder how this is all happening, right? But I've given it plenty of clues along the way about the way that I work or the way that I like to draft. I'll say yes, like that. No, I don't like that. Can you change that? And over time, it has enough data on me to connect the dots and figure out the way that I like to write things or the way that I like to brainstorm things or whatever it may be. So, yes, exactly. Like connect those dots because that's what I need it there for.
Yeah, and I believe that everything we need is inside of us. AI is just helping bring it out. Sometimes we're stuck. We're stuck in some part of it. My brother is so creative. He's just as creative as me. I love him. He's just crazy busy, too busy to do his epic fantasy that's been in his head for 20 years. And I've been trying to encourage him. He had this idea that he had to write chronologically and perfectly. And I'm like, no, just start with the ideas. Get whatever you have, throw it on paper. This was before AI. Throw it on paper. That was what I would do. I would just throw it. I was a puzzle piece writer. I got pieces of it, and then I would put it together as it came. Well, now AI helps me assemble those puzzle pieces and get it to where it makes sense. And it just speeds us up so much, but it's still you doing the work. It's just there to help you. And I think people don't have to use it for the actual writing if they love the writing or if they're opposed to it, but you can use it for hundreds of other things. We wear so many hats as indie authors. Why not allow it to do some of the more repetitive things that are not fun, the admin side, so that you can go have fun and do the writing side? That's my soapbox.
I love the soapbox. I'm just sitting here enraptured because everything you just said is the ultimate AI writing motivational speech. It really is like reminding us that everything we have is already there.
It is.
And it's something that back in the day when I would teach classes for pseudo write, that I mean, that's like been ages and ages ago. It feels like a lifetime ago, even though it's only been a couple years. But that's what I would always tell people is this idea that like you have that talent inside you, you have that skill, you have that knowledge. And I'm loving the fact that, like what you just said, everything you need is already inside you because it really is there. And you don't have to use it for writing. You can use whatever part of the process you love, keep doing that. But what you were talking about with burnout, and and I can say this because I again, your mom has been a hero of mine for a long time. I believe I have met her at an RWA conference. So even though I don't remember meeting you, I probably have met you because I used to go to all of them. And so many of the writers that started when I started are no longer writing because
That's
they burned out.
they fall away. The people that you start with, 5 years later, they're not around. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It is.
Yeah. And like, how do we stop authors from hitting that burnout phase? Because the thing is, it isn't that they stopped loving them. The shelf, it's right below me, so you won't be able to see it. But some of my author friends that I started out with, who used to be my bestest buddies, that we did all the writing things together, are not writing anymore. And the last time I spoke to one of them, she just said, I really want to get back to writing again. I miss writing, but oh, I just can't. It's just so hard. And it isn't that she doesn't have talent. It isn't that she doesn't have ability. It's that all of the pieces that she hates about writing, she doesn't want to have to do again. And
Mhm.
for those of you who are listening and think, yeah, that's why I'm not writing, you don't have to do those pieces. Just do the pieces you love.
That's something we hear a lot in the FFA is that AI has made writing fun again. And that's the thing is getting back to that first love. And this is something I kind of want to talk about on the Valentine's edition of Ink and Code this Saturday is getting back to the first love, the thing that made you want to write. And I mean, and also story is code. We are born coded for story. It's how we survive. We are born, it's innate. We must tell stories whether you want them in print or not. I know a lot of people that are amazing at like verbal storytellers that collect funny stories, but this is how we do things as a society. We survive with stories, all kinds of stories that tell us, stay away from that, don't do that. Or, hey, look, once upon a time, or we dream and we escape. And so it's like AI just helps us get those out faster. But the stories are still inside of you, they still come from you. You can tell it how much you want, how much authority and how much control you give to it is up to you.
Absolutely. And that's the thing too, is like Steph and I have both talked about the perimenopause and the brain fog and all this stuff. And that I haven't been writing for quite some time now. I have gotten a few books out this year. Yay, me. And I started doing anti-gravity, partially because FFA was mentioning it. I'd seen one of your classes, and then Dana has some anti-gravity stuff. And so I've been slowly working through doing the story in anti-gravity. And I'm going to be honest, I'm loving it so much right now. And I've been working on the story for 5 days. I really get pissed off when I have to stop working on the story,
Yeah, or we
which
run
is
out.
how I used to be. That's how Danica, the writer, used to be, is, man, you make me stop writing. I'm pissed. And I'm back there again. And I am totally doing it, writing with AI the slow way, and that's fine because that's my process.
But yeah,
And
but why crawl when or walk when you can run and fly? And that's what I'm
yeah,
like. I want to be Peter Pan. I want to fly.
right. And that's where I'm getting. I'm like, okay, someone just asked me, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? Apparently, I'm going to be at Kim's Ink and Code class on Valentine's Day. And I
Oh,
know
that's
this will
fun.
air after Valentine's Day. So for those of you who missed it, you can go to YouTube and watch it. It's totally fine.
I was just thinking about how I also fell back in love with writing and publishing and everything once AI came out. It was such a struggle before that, and I had brain fog from COVID, and I just thought I was done. I thought I was done because nothing was fun anymore. It was such a struggle. It was such a struggle to get anything done. And I'm not a big believer in this whole you have to be a starving artist and suffer in order to make your art, right? So
Most of us
I
have been there and done that.
I've been there, done that, don't want to do it again. I want to be having fun. I'm now in my 50s, crossed over the border to 50s, and I want to be having
Welcome.
fun. I want to be having fun. And I think that AI is what it's going to be for me for quite some time now because it just gets more fun every single time I open it up.
I
It
love it.
is.
I mean,
It's
it's
so
almost
fun.
addictive, but it is so much fun, and there's joy in it again. And it's like that's what I want to. I want to be in that place. I want to be happy doing something. I One of the things that crushed me was, and I know that this stuff you've gone through this too, losing a parent and not knowing if I was going to be able to write again after that. I lost my dad 2 years ago. I left the FFA for a while and came back. I did not know when I was going to be able to write again. I was also going through. I'm still going through a really rough divorce, and I'm homeschooling, and I've got a special needs child. So there's just a lot that crushes down, and you go, how am I ever going to do anything positive and good again? But AI has been just wonderful for that. It's just given me this one place. So when I couldn't write for a while when my dad was dying, I did art. I did a lot of art. I did a lot of book covers. And those are on my books now that are finally out. But it was like whatever I could do, I was like trying to find what pieces can I do? How can I express myself while I'm still just absolutely crushed? And eventually, time does heal. It takes a long time, but it's like finally, I feel like I'm back to where I can write again. And suddenly it's like, oh wait, I have 40 books to finish. What? Oops, maybe 10 more this month. It's just exciting. It's very exciting.
Yeah. And I think that's great because I have not gone through the loss of a parent, but I did recently go through a very long and painful divorce. And it's so funny that you're saying that about art because that is where I started to channel my energy is I've been doing art, like really bad art. Although I am an expert stick figure maker, I make an excellent stick figure, but it doesn't matter because it's a creative expression that made me feel good. And now that I'm writing, I was thinking back to what you were saying earlier in the podcast about making yourself more creative and following these creative ideas. And that's honestly part of why this book is taking me so much longer than I thought it would, because I'll get through a chapter. I'm like, oh, wait, I have this cool idea and I want to change this whole thing about where the story was going and follow this bunny trail, which I couldn't have done that pre AI. I just would have stopped the book and had to start over again. And it would have taken me a year to get to where I'm at now. And in just 5 days, I can play with it. And it's almost like the choose your own adventure books. Do you guys remember
Yes.
those? Where I can say, okay, let's see what would happen if I went this direction with the story instead, or this direction in the story. And it's a blast. It's really super fun. And I am just really loving getting to play. And I think that's what AI is doing for us all is we can afford to play because I have some really horrible AI drafts that will never do anything. But it was all done in the spirit of play. And I didn't just waste 6 months of my life to play with it.
You were learning, and maybe later it'll be resurrected. The Opus 4.6 is really good. Raise those dead ones and bring them back to life. What I found was that I did that. Your first draft project was back when we had 20 chapters. It was one of my Fey books that I didn't even know I needed it. I was writing it to solve a world building problem in a group of, it was like there's 4 or 5 connected series, and the world build wasn't right. And I was like, oh, the main series takes place 20 years after this big war. And I'm like, I gotta go write the war. So I started writing the Fey War series. And I'm like, I'm gonna do this in your first draft. And I thought stupidly, oh, I'll just cram it all into 20 chapters. And as soon as I got to editing it, it was okay. But I'm like, oh, this needs to be expanded. I need this. Oh, I need to chop off like part of the last fourth of the book, and that's book 2. And so I took about 2 months, and I was kind of doing that. I was like, oh, I can go this way and that way. Or I was finding as a high maximizer, I'm like, after the fact, I'm going, they need this motivation. This isn't right. Oh, hey, wait, the seasons are screwed up. It's summer over here, and it's winter, and then it's summer, and then it's spring. So I had to fix a lot of stuff. I rewrote a lot of that book. It took 2 months. But I was learning that process. And now with Claude Skills, I can do that same thing on book 2 in about a week. That used to take me 2 months. And I still have the joy of the discovery. I'm not stressed. I'm having fun. And I look back, I just started working on the audiobook for that book. And I was like, oh, that really is a good book. It was fun because it has rested for a while. It's out. But I was like, oh, that one really is good. I'm proud of that. And it was kind of fun to listen to it again and go, yeah, I didn't screw that up. That was actually a good one.
You
I
learned a
love it.
lot. You learned a lot along the way,
It makes you faster.
It does make you faster. I agree. So I think
Yeah,
we covered a lot of your favorite tools, right, Danica?
we did.
I love it. I love it.
She likes all the tools, basically.
All
She
the
likes all the
things.
tools, and there is nothing wrong with that. And I am so glad that you're here. I don't know if there's any final tool or piece of advice or something that you want to share with us. Just what, yeah, just one last little.
Yeah. One last thing, it would be I teach this too. I say, know thyself and know thy AI. If you know your work process, your unique way that you like to work, if you don't, go talk to the AI, have it interview you. If you know your work process, you can pivot through all the different tools. Tools are going to come and go. We don't know what's on the horizon. Antigravity didn't even exist before November 18th. Claude Skills weren't around before October. We don't know what's going to come out tomorrow or drop later today. There's going to be new tools. The ones you love are going to go obsolete. It's not about the tool, it's about you. If you know how you work and you are comfortable, just get used to talking with AI. That is the skill you need, being able to communicate what you need. It will help you. That's what it's designed to do. Know yourself, know how to talk to the AI. The rest will unlock itself. And you can take those, like the skills are portable across all the different apps. Your skills in your brain are also portable. That's the most important part, is still you. You are the secret ingredient.
And that's perfect advice to end this particular interview on. Thank you so much for being here. This was incredible. I love talking a little bit more about the technology and things because I am also a long time technology person. I was in IT for a long time, web developer, etc. So I love coming back to talk about those things as well. I'm sure Danica is probably really jazzed now to go write something, aren't you?
I really am. I've been jazzed about this a lot, and I'm even more jazzed to, like I said, like really watch more of Kim's videos because I've done a couple, but not everything. And that is something I know we talk about links and everything, and certainly we'll get more of those here in a second. But please do go watch those free videos on YouTube. They are so valuable. And for people who say, oh, I can't really afford to buy a class or join FFA or whatever, that's fine. But there are so many free videos that I have learned so much just from those videos, although I do have an FFA membership as well. And I've paid for some classes outside of FFA, but you will get so far on just the free classes. Start there. And Kim was saying about figuring out what your AI flavor is and what you work best and how you work best. Once you figure that out, then you can figure out where to invest your time and skill into the deeper courses.
And
Absolutely.
automate the pain points. You got pain points? Automate them.
Yeah, automate those pain points. Absolutely. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. I will make sure that I get all of the URLs into the show notes for this particular episode. Kim, do you want to send anybody to your books or website outside of the FFA?
Let's see, the Black Cat books are on blackcatseries.com. I think I have the exact same website that I need to update under authorkimberlygordon.com. And I have, let's see, I'm still setting up my Kayla Swift. That's my lit RPG. And the other one is ShaylaSummers.com. Author Shayla Summers.
Great.
So I'll give you the links so you can put them in. But
Fantastic.
That's my big stuff. So.
I will do that. I'll make sure that they're all in there. And then, of course, Kim is also the director of the Ink and Code Society at Future Fiction Academy, and she is pretty much live every single Saturday on the YouTube channel for Future Fiction Academy. So that's youtube.com/the Future Fiction Academy. We will also link to that in the show notes so that everybody can find it. What else should we leave everybody with, Danica?
Yeah, just as always, please make sure you're liking and subscribing to us on YouTube. One of the things that Steph and I have been doing in the background is that our podcast provider was not fantastic, and we're switching podcast providers. So you should still be able to get our podcast on your favorite podcast channel, but always YouTube is very reliable. So you will always be able to find us there. So like and subscribe there. Besides that, you can see how cute we all are. I mean, we all look good for the over 50 club. We look great.
We look great.
Yeah. And then, of course, make sure you're liking and subscribing to Future Fiction Press, Future Fiction Academy, and Publish Drive on all your favorite social media channels.
Yeah, drop by bravenewbookshelf.com to get the show notes. You can also find our links to us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, all those places. And I link up the RSS feed there as well that has all of the podcasts in them. So if you do find that you can't find us on one of your providers, grab that RSS link, because that should be able to be put into any one of them, and then you'll pop right up, no problem. So hopefully we don't have any glitches coming in the future. So thank you everybody for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Okay, bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Brave New Bookshelf. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. You can also visit us at bravenewbookshelf.com, sign up for our newsletter, and get all the show notes.